Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about QVD files. What are QVD files? QVD files is one of the ways that Qlik invented to store data. So it could be a CSV file in other formats like Parquet, but QVD is where you have the most optimized way to store data of one table in Qlik for Qlik, okay, to consume this data. And what are the main characteristics of a QVD file? One, it's very compressed, so it can store a lot of data in a very compressed way. So your data will store. You use less space to store the data. It's very fast to load this data in Qlik. So if you're loading data from a database or Excel file versus a QVD file, the QVD file will most part of times will be way faster than the other data sources. And the third one, I think, is one of the most interesting ones. You can work offline. So what that means? So you get your data from your database. By the way, I'm saying database, but it could be anything. It could be a Excel file, a REST connection. No matter how you collect the data in Qlik, you can store it as a QVD file. As soon as you did that, if you disconnect, you can work disconnect. So what that means, you can shut down your database, you can lose access from your database. You still have the data there. So you can use the data that you have loaded and stored as a QVD file at any point. So you don't need your data source connected to your environment in order to use the QVD file. So as soon as you have it stored, you can work offline. And let's think about the scenario. You have 20 Qlik Sense applications where you need patient data. If you don't use any QVD or CSV file, I use QVD because it's the most common format. So if every single of these 20 apps need to collect data from your patient table, so all these 20 tables needs to go to the database, collect the data, do the select statement, and bring that data to your Qlik Sense application. But if you have as a QVD file, what will happen? So we have one single Qlik Sense application that connects to your database, collect the data, and create a QVD file. So all your 20 Qlik Sense applications, instead of loading the data from the database, you load the data straight from the QVD file. So that means you're gaining a lot of performance, and you're making your database, your source data, less busy. So you have a lot of advantages when you do that. So in today's video, I will show you different ways to extract data from your database and store as a QVD file. Okay, going here, I'll show you my catalog, and we have this local data. So this one we have created in one of the previous videos. So I'm collect here. As you can see here, I don't have anything. It's common to use analytics app to create what we call QVD builder applications. QVD builder applications are just to connect your data source, load the data, and store as a QVD file. That's it. You don't need any user interface, anything. So you can just use analytics app to do that. But in Qlik Cloud, they have created this script. So the script app is very similar to analytics app, but you don't have any sort of UI. And you have a few other characteristics of our script. For instance, you don't need to drop the table you have loaded in memory. So it will Qlik will automatically erase any data. So it doesn't hold any data in the application. So for our video today, I'm just going to use this script, and I recommend to use the script. So it's appropriated for that. Okay, and what is it's very important about this. So you have to think about an organized way to create your QVD builder applications. So the first one, usually it's not 100% all the cases, but usually for multiple reasons, you have one script application per table that you're going to store the QVD file. Looking at our Postgres database, so this is the demo database we have created before. This is the DVD rental. And you have all these tables here: actor, address, category, city, country, etc. So I'm going to create one single script application per table. And it's interesting here, we'll see further, that we create a naming convention for your applications in general. So the one rule that I like a lot is L1. So I start with L1. The name of the table, I will start with actor. And then QVD builder. Okay? So that's the convention I have created here. So I have L1. What is L1? So in some of the customers or developers in general, they use this pattern: L1, L2, L3. So L1 is short for layer 1. What is a layer 1 application? Layer 1 application are the ones that have contact with the source data. Again, source data can be could be a database, a CSV file, Excel file, REST connection, any supported data source that Qlik supports. So L1 is the only app that touches and access the source. Everything else, layer 2, layer 3, data models, dashboard applications, they only consumes QVD files. So that's the usually the structure that customers and Qlik users use as a convention. So that's why I have L1. So when I see this L1, I know this is accessing my data source. And in my convention, the second parameter, the second part of my naming of my application is the table name. So in this case, actor. And then QVD builder is just to qualify what is this about. Okay, I usually don't use any description or tags. Okay, create. Just remember, this Postgres database is in my local machine, so I'm going to use the connection we have created in one of the previous video. So keep that in mind. If you don't know how to access your local database, look for that video, okay? So, and here is the overall structure of the script. You have a lot of information about the creator and the version of the data, the application, the local. You can reload from here. You can see the outputs, the inputs, so it goes in and what is generated. What you're looking for here now is the editor. Okay, so the editor is just to do the magic of loading the data and store as a CSV file. I start with a very, very simple structure. So this is the most fundamental thing we need. The first thing will be to connect to your database. I can just click here to inject the connection, but I can use this script, the wizard. So I'm going here, click on this button, and then it's loading all my my schemas. I will go to public, and I don't want to include the load statement. So click on actor, and this will take all the fields and will show you a preview. Again, this local Postgres SQL server is using our direct access, the data gateway direct access to access my local database. All right. So then I click insert, and that's it. So this will just load the data into memory. I will press reload here, and since we're using a script application, you see Qlik, you tell us, hey, you're just loading data, but you're not doing anything with this data. Where is your store statement? So let's do it. So it's connecting to the my local machine, getting the data. So we have 200 records. And then you see there's a warning here. No store statements were executed. So it's just, hey, since this is a script file, you're supposed to store something, okay? Here you have a preview of the data, okay? If you click here, you can see, okay, the output, so the script. Here's the preview of the data. And then if we have multiple tables, you can see multiple tables here. But since we just have one, it's the only one that we can see here. So how can I do the store statement? So the store statement, it's quite simple. Is store the name of the table, actor, and this is the name of the table, right? Into, then you can do lib, this is local data, then data files dash I will then here is another way you can create a naming convention here. So I use the same L1 underscore actor dot QVD, okay, and then you put under parentheses QVD. Oops. Okay. If you're using analytics app to do this, you have to, not have to, but it's recommended to do a drop statement. So drop table actor. So let's review what it did here. Okay, go connect to your connection. Do you have created? Oops. Then do your select statement. This is just a simple select. So select all the field names from the schema and the table name. You have to do the name, create the name of the table here. And then you have the store command. So store the table. So this table here, by the way, is in memory. So it's not stored anywhere but the memory of the server. So then you're taking this table that's in memory and storing it as a QVD file. If you'd like to save a CSV, you can use CSV and use TXT here. Or if you have a Parquet, you can use a Parquet and you can do dot Parquet file. So, but we are using QVD, all right? So store the table you have loaded into local data is the name of my space here. Data files is the name of the data files folder inside that space. L1 is just a name convention. It can be anything. And underscore actor. I see it's also common to use the schema name. So you have, if you have multiple schemas inside the same database, even using the database name in this case is, what's the database? Post DVD rental. So you can use any convention. DVD rental dot. Let's use this one. I like this one. So then you know the database name, the schema, and the table name. All right. Let's say now, and then you drop the table. So drop table here is drop what is in memory. But since you're using a script application, we don't need this part here. So you can just clean that out. Okay. Let's say, man, I don't know. I don't know how to create this statement here. So if you don't know that, so you have this insert store statement here. So when you have a folder connection, you can do this. So you click here, then click understand the tables you're loading. So you can just click an actor. The path is the same that we have created before. I think I made a mistake there. And then I type my name convention. So DVD rental dot public dot actor, and it puts to you the .qvd, okay? And you can have Parquet, TXT, CSV, but I'm using QVD. So just click insert. Yeah, I made a small mistake here. You'll be this, but that's it. Okay, so you can use that this feature here to support you. Okay, let me load this now. So you see what I expect is when I click here to see the full data files content, I'm expect to see that actor QVD file. Okay, I'm also expecting not to see that warning from Qlik anymore. Let's create that. It was able to connect to the database, and it's collecting the data, populating my actor table with the query results, the select statement, and then you see no warning message, anything else. So continue editing. I can still see the preview. And now if I go here, there we go. So we can see the public actor, the actor QVD file. Perfect. So now let's see. I'm not so sure if you're getting all the. I don't know this database. So let me see if I really have 200 tables, 200 records. So I do a select statement here in my source, executed, and okay, 200. Okay, good. Right. Okay, let's go back a few steps a little bit. So I go back here to my catalog, my local data, and now I see here my QVD file. So this is very important. So if you open dataset, we'll see some information about that. So we have a QVD file, 200 rows, 4 fields. Let's double check if we really have 4 fields. Okay, 4 fields. And then you can see the field names and the type of the field names. Okay. And if you click on profile, you can see some of the distribution of the data. And if we change the sequence here, you can see the list view, some of the values, okay? And one thing that I like the most, you can go to lineage, and you can see here what happens, who created this QVD file. So, so you have here who created. So is the L1 actor QVD builder, okay? So then you know it's a script file. You can see all the tables and the column names and the data source. So the data source is a Postgres database. And then it creates the QVD file and it's stored here in the file storage. So you can see who created the QVD file. And if you have an application consuming this QVD file, you see that it also connects to applications A, B, C, D. Okay, so the data lineage is very good. It's very good. Get used to it. Impact analysis is if something happens with this QVD file, which applications will be impacted. Since we do not consume this QVD anywhere, we don't have this yet. Okay. If you see if the numbers are not matching here, like if I have 250 rows, why it's not showing here, you may have to refresh your profile. So click on this refresh button, so it calculates the records again, and to show you the appropriate data. Okay, good. All right. I'm curious if you can change things here. All right. Okay. Let's go back to our catalog. All right. Okay. Now, let's say you'd like to create multiple QVD builders. So be one per table, or let's say you'd like to create put all this stuff in one single QVD builder. So I use multiple scenarios. So I will start with the one that I do not recommend. But since it's rare to use this, and I don't recommend because of multiple reasons, but you could create all these tables in one single script. So let me move this to the other screen. So I'll go back to my L1 actor, but now I'm going to rename it. And actually, let me duplicate. So I'll duplicate this one. All right. And I will rename it to, 1 second, it's opening. I'm going to rename it to DVD rental, multiple QVD builders, multiple QVD builder. Okay. And I would say create all the extract all DVD rental tables and store as QVD files. And I just add a note here, not recommended. And I'll explain why I do not recommend this later, okay? So save it. Then I go to editor. Okay, now, all right, how can I do this? So the first thing I would do is I can just go here and instead of doing the actor, I'm going now to move to the next table. So actor, the next one is the address and then the category. So I go here, public. You can select multiple tables here, by the way. Actor info. Interesting. Address, category. Okay. And let me clear that. Okay. All right. Insert. Okay. So I can load all these fields here and then do the store statement for every single one. That works. Okay. So we just need to change the field names. I don't need this to connect again. Let's see, store. Okay. So then I need to change the names here. All right. Okay, that works, right? But okay, what if you have 2,000 tables, 6,000 tables? Are you going to do this way? It doesn't seem very productive, right? So I can propose one thing. So instead of doing this, there's one gold rule, not just for Qlik, but in IT in general. It's don't repeat yourself. Okay, so if you think these things sounds repetitive, it's probably not the best way to do those things. So maybe you can reuse some of the code you have. So instead of having to repeat myself here multiple times, I'll do the following. So first of all, I have a query here to list all the table names from a database. Okay, so this is the query. I do select. I will call it temp loop tables. This is the name of the table I'm creating. Okay, and then I have the select statement to get the table name. Okay, this is what I'm looking for from the information schema. So this is from where I can collect this how I collect this information from Postgres. And the table type is the basic table. So I'm not including views here. So I'll do this code, exit script. Let me see if this is returning the really the table name. So test this, okay. Let's see. 15 tables, okay. So actor, store, address. So we have all the tables here, okay. So now, this is what I'm going to do. So I will start a loop for each. So for each v table name in field value list. So what I'm listing here is the column table name. Okay, and do a next v table name. So this is the structure of my loop. So first, I collect all the table names, okay? And I do a loop for every single value. So that means 15 tables, and I'll loop through that. And at the end here, I'll just do a drop table. So again, I don't need to do this in the script, but just for, I prefer to do myself, okay? So then now, instead of repeating this code over and over, I will just collect this code here and put inside here, okay? And I'll just do some tabs here. So I just fixing this. And I'll do a drop table. Again, it's not needed, but I would do it. Drop table actor. Okay. And then I will delete all these records here. Okay, now, how can I use this? I'm still not understanding. So instead of repeating this using the actor here, I would just put the variable. Again, remember, this is the name of the table. So the first one will be actor. That depends on how you sorted this, okay? Then here, where I have actor again, here, okay? So just put here, again here, here, and then this part. So wherever I have actor, instead of having actor as a hard-coded value, I would take this value from the variable. So when I'm looping the actor table, I'll collect the actor columns. When I'm collecting the store, I'll get the store fields. But what about the fields? I have the field listed here. So in this case, if I'm collecting every single field, I can use a star. So I just do select star from this, okay? And let me use this here. It's not needed, but I like to put the SQL here statement. All right, so this should work. Again, I do not recommend this, and I'll explain why now. So when you do this, you are going to do load sequentially every single table. So we start with the actor. So you load actor, start as a QVD file. Then we drop it. So then we move to address. So load address and start as a QVD file. So you do 15 tables sequentially. If you have big tables, so you're going to wait a long time to have all your data populated. So every time you do this approach, you're saying, hey, this load will be sequentially. So if your tables takes an average of 10, 15 minutes, and let's say 2 hours, so this would be a long period of time since when you start the first one and when you end it. If you have individual scripts, applications, you can run them in parallel. So instead of having one to wait each other, you can start them at the same time. So I think in Qlik Cloud, in the standard signature subscription, you can run up to 3 applications in parallel. So it will be faster for sure. And you see a very nice way to reuse your code doing this approach. So this is the first step, but it's interesting to show here how can you use the loops and reuse your logic to shorten that builder. So imagine you have to write those 15 lines, like each block like this. This will take a long time, okay? So let's test it, all right? So what I expect here at the end is to see 15 QVD files, okay? So let's see it. If it's fast, okay, you can run like this, but I do not recommend, okay? Is it running? No, okay. Let's see if everything is fine. Okay, so here you can follow. So we have the actor, store, the address, city, country. So this is a very small database. So it just took 15 minutes. Again, if we have big builders, big tables, this will take a long time, and this approach here, it's not recommended. Okay, let's look here. So they are all here. Okay, perfect. So that means now, if you just lose access from your database, you can go here. Okay, you still have your records, the last snapshot of your database, save it as a QVD file. So this is great. Okay, it will be all here. So you're not going to lose. If you lose the access of your database or to a REST connection, you still have access to your data. You'll not be updated, but you have something. All right. Now, okay, if you do not recommend this approach, what do you recommend? Okay, so let's go back to our one other interesting thing. Here now in the script, overview, you can see all the outputs, right? Just have multiple QVD files, all the sizes, and then you have the multiple inputs. So the first one is the tables, the list of the tables that we did. You can also include views, okay, if you need it, or just need to change your query, and then you see here. Just one thing about this. So you can do this way, or you can even do a load inline, and then you can type the tables that you're looking for. So if you just, I don't want every single table, I just need 3 tables. So you can do a where clause to exclude the other ones, or even replace this with a load star inline. Then you do table name, and list the tables. Tables, actor, address. So you can do this way too. It works in the very same way, and you can comment that out. This will just work fine. So let's try it real quickly. So I'm expected to see just 2. Let's see if that happens. Then actor, and then address. Okay. So since you have this figured out, you can change how you put these records. So let me return it. Whoop. Okay. Control K, so to remove it back. All right. Okay. So now going back. Now I see that. So this is starting to get noisy. So let me get just the scripts. Okay. So let's go back to our old friend here, the L1 actor. Okay. So now I like this a lot, this approach. So let's go open the script. Okay. I open a separate tab. Okay. Right click, open a separate tab. Let's start to do fancy stuff here. So the very first thing I will play with here is, let me test this. I never tried this with scripts. So I'll do let v table name, I use the same name of that variable, equals document title. Okay, let's try that. So I'm trying to capture this name here. Okay, and I'll do a trace. Trace is how you write things in the log file. Okay, so trace and displays in the output. So trace loading table, then the table name, the variable v table name. Okay, it's not exactly that, but you see it. And let me do a same column here. Let's try it. I'm expecting to see perfect. So L1 actor QVD builder, but this is not my table name. My table name is just actor. Okay, how can I get this? So I can use SubField. SubField does magic with strings. So I'm not going in details what it does, but basically SubField function split your string by something, by a character. So in my case here, I'm doing a SubField, and my separator will be a space. So I have L1 space actor space QVD space QVD builder. So if I use the SubField function like this, my variable will receive those 1, 2, 3, 4 strings. It splits my string by multiple rows by the separator you have. Separator can be anything. I can even use L1. It could be a separator, but I'm just using space. And I can tell the SubField, return to me the second part of this separator. So I just put 2, okay? So that's the beauty of having a naming convention. So you can manipulate this in different ways, okay? So in my case, my table name is the second part of my naming convention. So let's try this, okay? Export. Okay, loading table actor. Perfect. So this is what I'm looking for. Okay, now I have this in hand. I know my table name. So look what I'm going to do here now. I remove the exit script, and like the other application, I'm going to use this here. Okay. I use this thing here, here, and here. All right. And then again, let me include, this is not required, but I just like to use this way. And I use the star here, okay? Star, just a few things here, not needed. Okay, so now I'm dynamically taking my name here, the name of my code, my name convention that I have created to extract the table name, and I use this table name here that I capture, and then I connect to the database, use the variables like we did for the other ones, but this is just for a specific table. Well, let me go to export data. Loading table, actor. Okay, perfect. So, right, that's it. So now, if I go here to my space again, I think I have it here. What if I want to create this for a different table? So I can just go here, duplicate, and then I go, okay, now I need this rename. I'm going to rename this to be the address. Okay, that's everything I need to do. So I open the script. Let me open a separate tab. And then I will just reload now. I will click on reload now. I'm expected to see the outputs, the address table. There you go. Okay, 600 column rows. It gets the address table. So that was very easy. So I just duplicated and there you go. So everything happens because I'm using variables and I'm using that naming convention to create that. But think about this. You have created 6,000 applications like this. And then you need to update the load script. All right. You're going to do, oh man, there is a new thing. We need to add something, even like a simple trace stuff, or you need to add something. You need to change it. You have to change 2,000 Qlik Sense scripts. Okay, this is not good. So what can you do to solve this problem? You can use includes, okay? So you can take this code here, and then you can go, I will use VS Code. I love Visual Studio Code. It's great to do Qlik scripts, okay? I will go here, and then I have one extension called Qlik. So it's very easy to find. You can just go and look for it in your extensions, and you can install it. So what it does is, let me create a new file here. So I double click, Control V. I put my code here. You can even highlight your code as a Qlik view, so it will show to you as a Qlik script. You can use a notepad. Don't worry about it. But I'm using VS Code. But it's just to create an include file. So I put on my downloads here. I will save this as DVD rental L1 DVD rental loads QVD builder. Okay. It's a fine. Okay. L1 DVD rental QVD builder. Okay. And QVS. QVS is for Qlik view script, maybe. I don't know. I don't know exactly. But it is just a text file. You can use anything. But use QVS. So this will help you a lot. QVS, so VS Code recognize QVS as a Qlik Sense script. I think Notepad++ also works like that. And Qlik recognize it as a Qlik script. Okay, so now, perfect. Okay, what can I do with it? So then I go here to your data files, select the files, and then you can add a file from here. So click here, and I'm going to include that QVS we just have created. So open it. So Qlik will recognize it, okay? So if I click here, if you click on the script and click select, it will show to you, oh, it doesn't do it. Okay, sorry about that. So now, instead of having my code here, I will just delete it. And then, oh, there is a nice new feature here in Qlik. It's called select script. So you click on select script, and it will show to you the QVS. That's why it's important to have the QVS. I'm not sure if it supports other ones. I just tried with QVS because I just only use QVS. So select it. Next, it will display to you what is the content of this. And it gives to you the statement to include that thing. So then you just click insert. Then so what this include does? Include is to take the code of a text file and inject in your load script. And if you click here, there's this icon. You can see a preview of the file, and I think, yeah. So you have the preview. If you have multiple lines, it will scroll down. So this portion of the code, it's injected here. And you can have include or must include. Include is just when, okay, if you have the file injected here, and when you use must underscore, say you must have this include file, or otherwise the code will fail. So let's try to export again. So it will do the same thing. You get the table actor because the name here is actor. You connect to the database and do everything else. So what we're doing here is we are externalizing our code to a single file. So since I have changed my actor, let me do the same for the address. So address, I just need to come here and then delete this and add the must include, the very same include file. And then if I click on export, I'm expecting the code to detect address table and do the ETL process to store the QVD file. So it took it, loading table address receiving the 600 records, and that's it. So if you need to change it, by the way, Qlik does not support us to change the include file here in the UI. So you have to keep the version in your local server, your local machine. So you can change anything here, delete the QVS file, and re-upload it with your change. So then you're going to update all your table, all your applications that use the same QVD, the same QVS. So you combining two things: the reusability of the code. So you're turning your applications very easy to manage. And then you can run now all your QVD builders in parallel. You can do that just setting a schedule time to run all at the same time, or using an automation. We are going to talk about how to load that later. And using automation, you can even create those builders dynamically. So I'm not going to cover that, but probably I'm going to talk about that because it's a nice feature. Okay, so okay, what if I want, let me get one payment. So I will just go here, duplicate it. Let's try one more time. It's very easy. So that's what I like about this. When you do a pattern like this and you put include files and using variables and node stuff, it becomes very easy to create new builders and managing all the stuff. Payment is payment. Yes. Save it. Open the payment. Open it. And I would just click on reload. Okay, reload now. I trust my app. Let's see if that works. I'm expect to see payment QVD file. Still reloading. Payment. It gets data from the payment. So perfect. One final thing. What if I go here and check how they call it? Data, I guess. I'm looking for the QVS. Let me just change the display here. QVS. I don't know how it's displayed here. So I'm not filter anything. QVS, oh, it says a script file. So let me double check that. So if I check script, yeah, it shows a script file. Don't confuse the .qvs script with this script application. So if you click this QVS, you see there is a kind of editor here, but it's read only. I'm almost sure this is in the row. It's under development right now to enable this to edit these files here. So this will be a very good feature. Okay. Perfect. So that's it. So I showed to you different ways to create QVD files and the best way to keep them. So just to, long story short, create individual script applications, one for each table, and create include files to and use variables to make your life easier to maintain the QVD builders. So it's very common to, oh, I just have a few tables. It doesn't matter. I can do manually. If you do it this way here, you're going to save a lot of time, especially when your customers starting asking for changes. If you have used this approach, you're going to save a lot of time. If you need to add new tables, remove tables, look for bugs, this is the best way. Okay? All right. I'll see you next time. I hope you have enjoyed. And don't forget to like this video. Okay? Thank you.